Yes, so I'm recording that there. We are going to be looking at two elements today, so plenty of work to do. Let's start off with, as always, oh, this is going really well this morning. This camera's not working now. Let me go back to that one. Let's start off with our knocking. So taking your feet about shoulder width apart, a little bit of bend in the knees, and we're just knocking on the door of life. Back of the body, belly. Keep that going. And I'm just going to see if I can get my other camera working. So keep working, knocking. So that's looking really good. I can see you all on Zoom there. Yes, got the camera's working. Just breathing easy in and out through the nose. Today we're going to be exploring the wood element. Wood is all about resilience, and also the fire element. And fire is all about the heart and enjoyment. So we'll have a little bit of resilience and a little bit of enjoyment. Good way to start your Wednesday morning. Slowing it down into water waves. Just really noticing the sensations. Feel the air through the fingers. We're doing these movements to activate the body, get the blood flowing, get the energy flowing, particularly working on the spine. The spine is obviously a really important area of the body, and often where we hold tightness in tension in the lower back, in the upper back, in the shoulders and in the neck. And then slow it down. Just give the legs a little bit of a shake, give the hands a little bit of a shake. Back into our bent knees position, so slightly bending the knees. Let's do some hula hooping. So pop your hands on your hips, let's get the hips working. So I'm going to mirror you, take the hip out to the right. So I'm literally just tilting out to the right. Then I'm going back behind me, and then I'm coming out to the left, and then I'm going to come in front. So I'm pushing the hips in front. Remember, as I said at the very beginning of the week, making sure that you go at your own comfortable pace. So we're not forcing anything, we're not pushing anything. And the easiest way to notice that you're not overdoing it, overstretching, or forcing anything is making sure that you're breathing easy. So if you've got any hip pain and you're holding the breath, then you're pushing it too much. So hip circles. And then let's go in the other direction. So just change direction. I think my neighbours are doing some early morning vacuum cleaning upstairs as well. There's odd noises going on, if you can hear that. Good. Now we're just going to take our thumbs and just lightly press them either side of the spine. Again, just take this really easy, so don't force anything. And as you bring the hips forwards, just that little bit of pressure, just push, and you can work your way up the lower back, either side of the spine. So where you might feel a little bit of tightness, a little bit of tenderness, just gently, 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 don't overdo it. Just helping you to bring the hips forwards. You might feel some clunking, you might hear some clunking too. Backing right down into that sacrum area. Often we get really tight down here in the lower back. Good. Change directions. So it just helps you to just gently pushing the hips forwards. Breathing easy. One more. And then come up to standing shake out. You might want to give your legs a little bit of a shake, the hips a little bit of a shake. As I've said before as well, any of these movements, any of these exercises, you don't have to set aside an hour or 20 minutes. You can just get up, do a little bit of this as you're standing in the queue at the supermarket, if you feel like it, or just anywhere, just do that little bit of movement. It always makes that difference if we're just creating that movement. Right, let's work on our flow now. So the first flow we'll do today is the wood element. And this is called tree sways in the wind. Tree, wood makes sense. We're focusing on resilience. We build resilience by combining strength and flexibility. So think of that combination. Now, if you think of a tree, it's extremely strong, but it's also very flexible because it sways in the wind. And in fact, it needs that flexibility. If it is just strong all of the time, it's holding too much tension. So this movement is really focusing on strength of movement, but also flexibility of movement. I'll show you the movement first. You start off with the palms facing up, a little bit of roundness in the elbows. And I'm going to mirror you. So we rotate to our right. So you just spiral and rotate to the right. And then the fingers come up the right side of the body. And then you're pointing your middle finger to the crown of the head here. And you rotate back to center. And then when you get back to the center, you shed your leaves. So arms come down to the side. And then we come back to the starting point, facing up. And then we rotate to the left, come up the center. Nice and tall through the spine. Rotate back to center. Shed your leaves. Do that a couple more times. So rotate. So you can see why we did that little bit of work on the hips. So we're rotating. Stand tall, lengthen the spine, keep the shoulders relaxed, back to center. Arms down to the side. So you need that strength, that connection to the ground, that little bit of bend in the knees. But then you also need that flexibility of the spine rotation, the spine lengthening, the rotation back to center, that softness in the arms coming down. So you can see that balance between strength, real strength through that central rotational axis of the body, your connection to the ground, and also that softness, that flexibility of the spine. Looking really good. Let's bring the breathing with it. So we're breathing in as we're coming up. Just light breath in through the nose. A little bit of lull in the breath as we come to center, then breathe out. A little bit of a lull of the breath at the bottom of the breath. Rotate, breathe in. Lull, breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Now, if that breath pattern is challenging for you, so if you start to feel as if you are running out of breath, or if it's a struggle, then just breathe easy and light and soft in and out through the nose at your own comfortable pace. So the breath shouldn't be challenging on this. There are plenty of exercises that we can do where we challenge the breath, but for the flow movements, we just want the breath to be light, slow, effortless, soft, deep into the body. If it works for you, you're breathing in, you're pausing the breath, then you're breathing out. Breathing in, out. Let's do one more each side. And to finish that, bring the palms up so they're facing the chest. So it's like you're holding a tree. So if you watch me from the side, you can see I'm not too close here. I'm not overreaching out here. I'm just nice and balanced. And I'm holding this position. Now, in Qigong, some Qigong practices are literally just holding a posture, but at the same time breathing into that posture. So this is really helping to build strength. So if you hold this posture for a long period of time, parts of the body that can relax will relax. Otherwise, you're just going to be like this and it's going to be too much. So you'll find that you can let go. The shoulders can soften a little bit more. Where you need strength through the feet, through the ground, connected to the ground, you really stay strong. So a lot of these postures were taught to build resilience. So just holding that posture, holding that position, but breathing nice and easy, nice and light and easy through the nose. And you may notice that if you just give the head a little bit of a nod, the shoulders relax a little bit more. This is all about body awareness, body sensing. You will be able to see where you're holding tension, where you maybe don't need to hold tension. Can you relax the feet a little bit more? Can you give the toes a little bit of a wiggle? And of course, if anything starts to hurt, if you start to feel pain, then you just stop. You just stop that. You stop the hold. And we'll move now into the fire element. So this is about heart. It's the heart meridian. It's about enjoyment. It's about having fun. And I'll show you the movement first. I will mirror you. So bring your left palm facing down towards the ground. The right palm stays connected to that heart center. And then we're going to shift the weight very subtly to the right. So you just shift the weight over to the right. And then we rotate over to the right. So we rotate the hips over to the right. And then we swap hands. So that right hand comes down, left hand comes up. We then shift the weight over to the left. And we're creating a figure of 8 with the hips. And the upper body and the arms are just following. So really get that sense of flow. It's almost like swimming in a way, I think. But you want to get that sense of just really ease of movement. Remember that water element that we practiced yesterday is underlying all of our Qigong flow movements. It's all about relaxation. And what is nice as you're doing this is if you just lift, as you come across, you just lift the sternum slightly. So it's almost like just opening up that heart center. If you practice yoga, you get that idea of just opening up the chest, opening up the heart center. And this movement is called cloudy hands because you imagine this top hand as a floating cloud and the bottom hand as the shadow following that cloud. The breath with this one is just easy in and out through the nose. So you just breathe in and out through the nose. The movement is initiated from the center, so that the upper body follows the hips. Get that hip movement, that subtle shift in the weight. Feel a lightness and an upliftedness through the spine. And as one of my Qigong mentors, Tai Chi mentors, always says, smiling is optional. And I think that's a lovely way of putting it. It's just smile. You don't want to go, oh, this is really hard work. Oh, how do I move this? Once you get into the flow, just enjoy it. And if you get a chance to get outside and do this in a forest or something like that, it's really, really nice. Cold weather, warm weather, anywhere. It doesn't have to be anywhere that is particularly idyllic. It's just nice to get into some space and just practice this fire movement. Do a couple more. And then slow it down. Let's see if we can remember the two movements that we've already practiced. So let's put metal, water, wood and fire. So we've got 4 elements. Let's put them all together in the last 2 minutes. So this is a speedy Qigong flow. So remembering the metal element, Buddha holds up the earth. So palms facing up, coming to chest, breathing in, breathing out. Breath in. Breath out. Going into water, so the fountain, so back of the hands, coming up that midline, and then spraying the water out. This is coming up the kidney meridian from the floor, from the feet, up the center line. Going into the wood element, so palms facing up, rotating. This is the liver meridian coming from the toe. Shedding your leaves. Holding the tree. And then coming into the fire element. Cloudy hands. Finishing off, just pulling down the sky. Crossing palms, resting the palms on the lower abdomen, bringing the feet together. And this closing position, which is really nice to finish any practice on, is called bamboo in the wind. And again, that's focusing on that wood element of strength and resilience. So if you just close your eyes, let the body rock and sway. and just visualize bamboo. So how strong that bamboo is, but it's only strong because it has that sense of flexibility about it. So it's that combination of alignment, relaxation, strength, and softness that build resilience in our structure, also build resilience in our mind as well. Lovely. Then taking a breath in through the nose, stepping out, giving yourself a little brush down. Nice, we've done 4 elements. We've got 2 days to go, so we've got plenty of time to work on one element. The final element is earth. We'll look at that tomorrow, but then we're going to spend a little bit more time tomorrow and on Friday just having time to practice and get into that flow. But I hope that gave you a nice little taste this morning of the 4 elements and how when you start to put them all together, you get a really nice practice. Tomorrow, if you have any questions, comments or observations, we're going to be online at 7:45. So we have 15 minutes for questions. So I'll be there to answer any questions you've got. We'll start the class again at 8 till 8:20. And on Friday, I'll most probably at the end of the class again, maybe just have 10 minutes at 8:20 for any questions at the end of the series as well, at the end of the 5 days. Thank you for your time. Hope you've enjoyed that session. Sorry for the slight technical problems at the beginning, and I'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye. Bye.